when you need it is super important.
Yeah.
And it's doing a lot of good work for that.
Yeah. It's just a really great cause.
I think it's down next to Johnny, actually. Johnny, I think
the tree.
We've got a Christmas tree.
Oh goodness!
Just over there, and under there are
Is Billionaire Banshee not 4 players?
a load of presents. Yeah, it is 4 players.
5 players. Or and if anyone wants to pay.
Closer to the mic.
Speak closer to the mic.
Yeah, there is an audio issue with you being quite low.
Me?
Yes.
It's because they've turned this mic down.
Hello.
Yeah, it's Bryn's
Almost certainly.
Billionaire Banshee.
But thankfully, Bryn's back. So now...
Billionaire Banshee.
It turns out that I just don't need a mic. You can basically hear
Billionaire
me
Banshee.
anywhere in the world.
Open your windows, Connecticut.
I mean, not in Canada, because that's still fictional. But mostly everywhere else. You can just hear me if I speak loud enough.
They can open their fictional windows. I mean, that's a thing, right? Do people have that? Do they have that in fictional
No, he's
universes?
saying that Canada runs on Windows. It's not OS.
Oh, right,
iOS,
I see. All right, cool. So are we actually today, believe it or not. We're running on Windows today rather than iOS, which is interesting. So just to make that clear.
Oh, do the backgrounds mean anything? So I was going to be splitting them up by backgrounds.
All the perks need to be in one pile and all the quirks need to be in one pile.
Oh, even if they got different backgrounds, because this one's got an S&M bear on it.
That's fine.
I mean, I'm not lying.
It actually does have an S&M bear. By the way, if you want to show cards, you can show it to this camera here.
Oh.
There you go. Isn't that lovely? While everyone's watching me eat a banana.
There you go.
So...
I don't know, as far as like S&M bears go,
Is someone going to explain the concept of this game?
Yeah, so each of us is going to... each of the people who are the deities are going to get a perk and a quirk, and that is the character that you'll be playing. We haven't pre-censored the deck, so if you don't agree with the card that's given to you, put it back in the deck. Well, actually, put it in a pile somewhere else and just pick another card.
That's the Joe says no pile.
Fling it aggressively out the window.
Fine.
Right.
And then, who wants to be the first question asker?
Me.
Bryn wants to be.
All right,
Okay.
we'll all be dating Bryn then. Or one of us will be dating Bryn.
Whoever I choose.
Pretty certain it'll be me.
Are we playing
does
the
have the most
5-player
glittery
version,
face.
or do you want to play it with 4 players?
We can play it.
It's
It's literally just another person.
We play it like blind date, right?
Yeah,
so everything's
ones
just
are
a badly disguised sexual innuendo.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Innuendo.
Way, the first one of the stream, guys. First innuendo. There it is.
Oh,
nice.
I assume we each need one date.
Oh, no, we don't. Oh, yeah, we don't. No, ignore those.
And deny. Are you sure?
I get to hand those out, do I?
There's alternative rules.
Ooh, could you date multiple people? Could you be like, yes, we're all gonna have.
I'll date you all.
I don't know. My character may or may not be polyamorous. We don't know yet.
That's entirely true.
Try not to be too heteronormative or kyriarchal.
I'm sorry. Was I anti having every single person have a date?
Right. Maybe
Well, given how many people were in your bed earlier, I'd assume not.
Just to make that clear to the people who are watching at home,
we were all having sex with Alex.
Literally true.
The entire cast. It was
literally true.
Sponsored by Ipsos Mori.
That part was sponsored by Ipsos Mori. Oh, we're on free cam. We're on free cam. Hello.
Check out the t-shirts.
Wait. You can do the trench run.
The OTP t-shirt.
Oh, that's a good idea. Wait, this can be the wait.
Yeah.
No,
He knows.
Right, so this is the long pan. This is you coming in. Then dive in.
You gotta dive in.
Oh no.
And then he's doing the trench run. It's like.
Wait, these are little turrets.
Oh no! Look out for the turret! Did you appropriate Phantom One music for the trench run? What's wrong with you?
Because that is the best thing about
What happens when you give people a camera?
What about that bit where Darth Maul gets chopped in half and he's like, what?
Well, then in the extended universe, he's fine.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Stick them down when you're ready.
We're geeks, aren't we?
I mean,
We are.
Yeah.
That's basically why we're all here.
Nerds!
In our lovely, definitely wooden.
Okay.
I'm not.
built
So are we gonna let the
shack.
audience
I'm
know
a jock.
what
I'm beat
card
up
we're playing?
nerds.
Yeah, we can. So we'll show
Look at me
our
go.
cards to the camera here.
Okay.
I'm beating up a nerd.
I think this is fine.
So we pick a perk and a quirk, right?
Yeah.
Perk and a quirk.
So which
Have you got your perk and quirk?
Okay, yeah, that'll be good.
Wait, are we meant to cover our eyes then?
So it's kind of a secret between. It doesn't really matter if any of us know, but it's a secret for Bryn. So this is
Bryn.
This is who I
Fingers
will
in
be.
ears and
Let me
Phantom Menace singing.
Other way up, mate. It's this way up. Yeah, that's it. There you go.
So you have a giant robot. That's
can't
handy.
say it.
Oh,
Say it's
what?
a
You
secret.
can't say it.
Well
Bryn,
done. Now
It's a
you
secret
knew.
for Bryn.
Bryn can't know.
Okay.
Oh, that's why she's humming. I thought he just did that.
All right,
I'm
Alex.
gonna discard this quirk.
Yeah.
I don't know the rest of that song, guys. I can't keep humming it.
Just go again.
Repeat the third section.
Is that your perk or your quirk?
That is my quirk. I can't get the focus right.
Down. You can't get the focus right. What, you mean like our audio box? Oh, yes, tech jokes that no one will get. Just down where the cards are. There you go.
Okay.
Got it? All right, okay. So here's my perk and quirk.
There's a dinosaur.
That's right.
Over there I saw it's a dinosaur. Those are the words.
If you want to, these are mine, by the
John
way.
Williams appreciation segment.
I do quite like
The
John Williams,
greatest.
Are we done yet? Can someone tap me?
Bum, bum, ba-da-bum, bum, bum, ba-dum, bum.
actually. And he's back in the room. All right, Bryn, how you feeling?
Eager for love.
Okay, eager for love. Do you want to kick us off then with welcome to Blind Date, by the way.
Thanks, Scylla.
Would you like to? I'm also one of the contestants, so this is a bit weird. But would you like to ask your first question, Bryn, to find out a little bit more
Hi,
about your?
guys.
Hi. Hello.
I'm a true romantic. I love to be wined and dined. What kind of restaurant would you take me to on our first date to impress me? That question goes to number 1.
Hi, Bryn.
Hi, number 1.
It's really nice to meet you. I would need probably an open air. I'll take you.
Woo! Yay!
You need £500.
I need £500 is what I need.
You need £500. Oh.
I would need to go to. I'll take you to an open air restaurant so that it's kind of a friend that I have to bring along with me. Needs to be able to fit. So he'd need an open air restaurant. I wouldn't really care about the food, but I would like to drink lots of water before the date starts.
There you go. And who would you like to ask the question to next?
Same question to number 2.
Someone hold that.
No, you're on, mate.
Oh.
There's lots of cameras.
There are. We got 4 cameras today.
Well, I think I'd probably start with Taco Bell. I think that it has a nuance to it and a flavour that you'd really appreciate. After that, I'd probably maybe take you on a tour of the other nearby chains that also bring a new element to the dish. And we could share that together.
You and Bryn can't date. And if you do, tell me where it is in advance.
No, you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know.
But I've been talking too long, so I'll just wrap it up.
Is your card Bryn?
But is it the purple?
Oh, everyone else has hats. I'm going to put on a...
You can have your
Yes.
Christmas hat, Johnny. Yeah, wear a little Christmas hat.
Same question to number 3.
Well, I would love to take you out for a beautiful steak dinner. I'd also have to bring a little friend of mine. He tells me that his family, albeit quite old, would appreciate him going to a nice restaurant. They used to walk the earth billions of years ago, and they feel that actually it was very much a case that steak was the main thing on the dish there, or main thing on the menu, and they'd appreciate you to respect that. But don't bring your family.
Whoa. That took a turn.
Same question to number 4.
Well, I would call you up. And we could discuss. There's lots of great places. Probably somewhere with a lot of a bit arty. Some painting on the wall. I know some. I'm pretty big in the art scene. I've really made it in the art scene. So I think quite a lot of the hip new restaurants would be where we'd end up.
Okay. I'm a big old nerd, and I love sci-fi movies. What's your favourite sci-fi movie, and why? That question goes to number 3.
Well, my favourite sci-fi movie of all time was
Sorry.
my favourite.
What have we done to Martin?
My favourite sci-fi movie of all time was probably I can't really choose because I love dinosaurs, and sci-fi, I guess, wouldn't necessarily be my thing.
Jurassic Park is definitely a sci-fi movie.
But I'll
Sorry,
probably
I
go
mean,
with-
Jurassic Park is totally a sci-fi movie.
All right, well, if we're including Jurassic Park as a sci-fi movie, then yeah, I'd love Jurassic Park, and so would my little friend, actually, but I'd never watch it with your friends.
Same question to number 1.
I'm really torn between my favourite movie. I would have to go for either Waterworld or maybe Pacific Rim, so that my friend identifies with a lot of the characters in there.
Okay. Same question to number 4.
Well,
Dear guy.
What a tough head guy!
I don't watch a lot of sci-fi movies, I'm afraid, because I'm not a big fan of technology. I think it really divides us and it's led to some real hardship in my own
We'll
life.
be having a really hard time right now.
But I really like. I've got a real fondness for the island of Dr. Moreau. Just being able to take your own will and create something really beautiful with it. You know.
Is Johnny's quirk being Johnny? Inflicting his horrible vision upon the world around him. Same question to number 2.
Well, thanks for asking. I think I'd have to
Do
say
you not get kicked out of the cinema?
I do have a problem with cinemas. I find them a bit quiet, but that's okay. I kind of split my favourite film between two. It's either which I later actually found they just changed the title to Scream. But I also really have a soft spot for Demolition Man. Because, Demolition Man, I feel like they really curated what kind of branding and what kind of elements of that future really appeared, and I just love it!
Thank you.
Welcome!
And what's your final question, contestant?
My final question is, I've been planning my wedding day since I was a little boy, and I've always dreamed of a big grand wedding. Where would you plan our dream wedding? That question goes to number 4.
I would plan it. I would plan it on a huge
Livestream
horizontal
set.
canvas, and then beforehand, the day before, you could just tell me what you wanted, and then on the day it would be there.
This is
Don't
beautiful. I've actually got tears.
Analog though, no phones.
Same question to number 3.
I would really like to take you to a zoo. So particularly, I would like to take you to the reptilian part of the zoo. My little friend would absolutely love that, and I know that you would as well when you see his little face light up.
I'd just like to state for the record that dinosaurs are not reptiles. But
They're birds.
I think you might have lost it there. Sorry, I think you might have lost it there!
But don't bring your friends or your family.
It's so sinister!
to my wedding! Oh my god! Number 3! Same question to number 2.
Oh, thanks for asking! Well, I have to say, I've been giving it a lot of thought myself, and I think that there's two key elements, really, to a wedding. And I think the first is the vows. So I'd love somewhere like Stonehenge or isolated in Scotland, where when we communicate well, and we really hear what each other are saying away from distractions. And additionally, I think the second thing that's most important, most people agree, is the catering. So I think that whilst Stonehenge is nice, it also has, ready access to the motorway, which has loads of services, which I think could provide a lot of, catering services, which would probably keep the costs down. But that's not about the money. I just happen to like what's there.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome!
Same question to number 1.
Well, I'd like my wedding day to match the whole day. So I want my wedding day and my wedding night to have a kind of similar theme. So I'd like to go to a water sports park.
What?
And I
What the
would have
dug
to
nut
get,
are you talking
I would have to get my father to walk me down the aisle. Now he needs a big open space to fit all of his giant electronicness to walk me down the aisle. So an outdoor water sports park would be my ideal wedding venue. Thank you,
Amazing.
Bryn.
Thank you, number one.
Oh, flipping heck.
Right.
So now I have to guess what people are.
Yeah, try and guess it. First of all, yeah, guess who you think each
So
of us are. and
Johnny
then
is the lead character from Bernard's Crayon, and anything he draws comes to life.
Pretty much, yeah.
And his quirk is that he hates technology. He's a Philistine of some kind.
I couldn't manage to get the actual detail in, but anyone I text turns into a stuffed animal. It's a permanent. It's a permanent.
Yeah, I didn't get that one, guys.
It's a permanent.
I didn't get
I'll
that
never
one.
text you. It's a permanent curse. You have your mind, but you cannot move, talk, or do anything. You're just trapped in a stuffed animal
Oh, of
forever.
course
if
that's
I
your
text
card.
you once.
Of course that's your card.
Of
course.
Is that
But
that
but
makes a
it's
good
it's
episode, I
handy.
reckon.
It's handy
Just
because
archives, yeah,
it does
it's in there
say
now.
it does say we'll stop texting you if you want. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Mike has a pet dinosaur, but wants me to have no friends or family.
So close. Okay, to be fair, got to give you that one. I have a pet dinosaur called Chompy,
Yeah, I didn't get the name.
and
I'm
no, I
sorry, guys.
didn't mention the name. That's all right. And it's that I won't allow you to see your friends and family.
Yeah, sort of.
Yeah,
I'm getting
exactly.
a controlling
That's
and
intense.
abusive
Yeah.
vibe
Yeah, that's
from Mike
super
there.
intense.
Yeah, it's
So,
mega intense.
Probably won't be choosing
The
Mike.
description here is ever again.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's why it was a little bit intense there. Oh, sorry, Bryn.
Okay, so Alex was someone who shouts everything. Maybe a banshee, but that's a long shot. And his quirk was he loved fast food.
Oh, very. Pretty much. Whenever they speak, it's at yelling volume. You can't control it, but you're easy to understand. Never lose your voice. It's not caused by bad hearing or anything, and it's not related to mood. It's just perpetually at 11.
Yeah, so it's me.
So it's Bryn. Yeah.
So, Bryn
And
would-
they love specifically fast food tacos, not because it's the only thing. It's just their favourite food. It's just their favourite food. They like
Nice.
what am I, Bryn?
Okay,
See
so
the image for this,
this
though.
one,
It's really,
It's just fucking
really dark.
What do you think it is?
the open,
flipping.
probably that.
flipping.
the
Don't
open
nothing.
space
Don't
thing
say.
is
Oh yeah, that will throw you. Yeah.
your. Someone's. What are the robots from Pacific Rim
Ooh,
called? The
ooh,
monsters
yeah.
are kaiju.
Yeah.
And the
Jaegers.
robots-
Jaegers.
Yes.
Jaegers. So you are a Jaeger, or your dad is a Jaeger?
Yes, that's so I have a giant robot, and the soul of my parent lives inside it. So I did that.
But you're also a merman.
Oh no,
You've got a pet.
no,
A fish.
You're not gonna get it.
Okay.
Right. So this is a family-friendly podcast, family-friendly stream, right? So I would like to urinate on you during sex.
Oh!
And
Oh no, I didn't see
just,
that.
just to make
that
sure
happening.
that is every time. And you can do it as well. If
There
you
are
like.
cards we should be
So-
throwing out
Yeah.
of this for the
I
stream.
mean, he had the chance to.
I
try
did have the
and
chance to
didn't.
throw it around. I chose not to.
To be fair, he made the joke about water sports.
I did.
And I thought he was just being funny. I didn't realise that was a clue.
That was a deliberate.
Am I
clue.
supposed to have chosen my date before I guessed what you all were?
Ah,
Presumably,
No, you
yes.
can
Presumably,
choose it now. Who are you going to
who are you
date?
gonna
Bryn?
go for?
Definitely Alex.
Yes.
course you are.
Hey!
Definitely Alex.
The match
Alex-
made in heaven.
Alex is
Yeah.
the first date of the day.
Let's have a quiet one in.
I'll take your cards.
Okay.
All right. Who wants to ask questions next?
I would like to ask questions next.
Okay.
I'd
All
also
right.
like to apologise
Is
to
there-
everyone who's heard the audio for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there a way for us to lay our cards here?
I was wondering that.
And then just whoever's asking questions just not look.
just
'Cause
not look, yeah, I
The
think
text
that's
is
probably
quite
best.
small.
They'll be up on the
Yeah.
screen.
Well, yeah, but
they could
at
just-
quite a distance.
No,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
it's more fun if they're guessing too.
Oh,
They're
okay.
playing the
yeah.
game at home. They can also
guess.
attempt to guess.
Yeah,
Post
okay.
it in the chat if you feel like guessing.
Yeah, yeah,
And Joe will
definitely.
tell us if anyone got it before Martin does.
It's just my hand modelling there.
All right, cool.
Okay. All right. Great. So everyone take cards then. Who's taking cards? Bryn, would you like to pass you some? Are you all right?
I'm just gonna grab.
Just gonna go for it. Okay.
I'm just gonna number you. So
you
Bryn's
go for it
1,
as
Alex
well.
2, Mike you're 3,
Right.
and Johnny you're last.
Johnny's 4. Okay. All right. Okay. So, Bryn, would you like to show your cards to the camera first to show us your perk and your quirk?
Oh, right. Yes, if I can stand properly.
To the way around, mate. To the
I
way
thought we
around.
were making them guess.
What?
Oh no, we're making them guess.
We were
Oh.
making them guess.
Oh no,
Oh,
we're
yeah,
making
yeah.
them guess.
Oh,
Oh,
we'll do
sorry.
blind.
Oh,
Don't worry,
sorry.
you couldn't read those really. So
You can literally just see his hands going.
Bruh.
Nope.
Blah.
Should we start?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I am a massive nerd, as you may or may not know, and love video games. If you wanted to play a video game with me, or if you were in a video game world, what would it be? And that's going to contestant number 1.
Well, tough one. I guess. To me, video games are a social experience, and so I guess I'd want to just play something you enjoyed, and find out what your favourites are, and maybe share those with you. But if I had to pick one of my own, I do feel maybe like Grand Theft Auto has always spoken to me. I feel like there's certain bits of that game which really speak to my real life experience.
Cool. And contestant number 2.
I think that I'd probably have to play something like Mario. I like the way that they they grow and then they shrink, and I like them. I like the mushroom aspect to it, and I think that ultimately it's something that we could share, and it would be our little secret, something that we could share together.
I see. Contestant number 3.
Well, what I'd really like to play with you is something along the lines of Kingdom Hearts, because it's a game all about looking after people, and I've heard some really great things about it, like quote mode, greatest game ever, end quote mode. So, and I think that it would really suit both of us.
What is that noise you're making, Ben?
That's part of his quirk.
That's not an in-character thing. That's just Bryn.
You haven't been on a podcast recording with Bryn. Occasionally he leaks. He just pops a valve, and that's okay. And then we just patch him up, and off we go.
Contestant number 4. Video game you'd like to play with me? Or...
I enjoy anything for obvious reasons. As I'm sure you're aware, I'd enjoy anything with a good story.
Johnny Card again.
Personally, I'd go with Mortal Kombat because I like to see myself reflected in a game. Specifically, some of the later, one or two of the later game fights. I really feel they speak to me at a very physical level.
Good. I really I'm a real family person, so I'd like to sort of go out on meals with my family and take you along with me. What's your family like, and where would you take me to meet them for the first time? And that's contestant 3.
Well, my family are an interesting bunch. They're quite they're very loyal, and they'll always make sure that you're well looked after and you're well seen to. But I think, realistically speaking, I would love to. One of my favourite places. I'd love to take you to one of my favourite places, which is the server stack just down the road from Jessop's. I just love to just stand there and take in the ambient sound for a while.
Great. And contestant number 2, date to meet your family.
Oh well, I think I'd probably take you out to the to the house that I grew up in, and I'd probably put you in a covered van with a bag on your head. Or I could wear the bag, but the important thing is the van, really. And then I think once we've blacked out the windows, then you could meet my parents or parent, and then from there I think we'd have a lovely, a really quiet dinner, not a lot to eat, or maybe loads. Maybe we could just gorge ourselves on an enormous amount of food, but either way we'll get back in the van, put bags on our heads, and then go back to yours at night.
And that's the date.
That's the date.
Okay. And contestant number 1.
Well, I guess I'd
Can you
say
beat that?
I'd love to meet your family. Like, family is so important to me. And I've done a lot for my family, but in some ways that's why I can't see them anymore. Like, I don't want to bring any trouble their way. And so if we're going to communicate with my family, really we just leave a letter for them in a dead drop somewhere, and they pick it up later, and that's fine. And they know I love them, and they know
these dates are evil and sinister.
But I feel like if we would become a real couple, then we'd be family, and I could be part of your family, and I could fit in really well with whatever they were doing. I think family's great.
Merry holidays, everyone.
Good. And contestant number 4.
Well, I think the best place to meet my parents would actually be at their home. You can come. Like my dad is super welcoming. He makes fantastic burgers. We can talk about books over a meal. My mother is a spider, but she's lovely. She's lovely. Just don't disturb her webs, and she'll just eat her colossal flies in the corner. And I mean, to be fair,
This is your card, of course.
maybe you'll have a lot in common, and you can talk about silk. Like personally, I have more in common with my dad than my mum, but. You know, I think she's never caused any problems for anyone I've brought
Twist.
home.
This is not on either of Johnny's cards. He's just plugged it from his own mind.
He's literally just. This is his confession moment.
This is Blind Date set in the Magnus Archives universe.
All right then.
All right. So third and final, very important question. Let me see. I like eating steak. What's your favourite food and why? And that's going to contestant number 4.
My favourite. I think this really comes out in my work, but my favourite meals are a steak.
Yeah.
I love, and also a goulash.
Yeah.
And probably. Some sort of pasta or lasagna simultaneously.
All at the same time.
All at the same time, yes.
Sure. Contested number 2. Let's mix it up.
Oh, well, I think my favourite meal is probably, either maybe like a single like sugar grain or alternatively 2 to 3 turduckens. And I personally, at least for me, I really enjoy eating in
Oh goodness.
rooms with no windows, and I'd love to do that with you, actually, if I'm honest.
Okay. Contestant number 3.
Well, realistically, we could go anywhere. I'd love to. My favourite food is mostly high octane. So I'll stick with maybe V-Power, or alternatively, I do appreciate Shell as well.
Yeah.
But most of my meals I usually take megabytes, so
Yeah.
it's a quick meal.
My wish is coming true for more IT puns. Cool. And contested number 1.
I really like steak as well. I love a fancy steak restaurant. I love going to new places and trying new ones. I mean, it's important not to fall into any habits and to keep going to the same place. I mean, that would just be silly. I mean, but essentially, I'd say that anything apart from bread and water, I'd be really disappointed to end up eating bread and water for the rest of my life, and that's mostly what I hope doesn't happen. But I mean, steak sounds great to me.
Okay.
Any guesses at home? Any guesses at home?
Right.
We've got some guesses. We've got some
Oh,
guesses.
yeah.
Shall we? Do you want to say who you want to date?
Of
and then we'll...
all the people I want to date, it might
Don't rush to your decision.
I know, right? It might have to be Johnny.
Oh, it's Johnny.
in there.
It's Johnny.
Spider Mother Johnny.
She's
Multiple
lovely.
mouths.
She's lovely.
All right. How are we looking in the chat, Joe?
All right. Well, what? Can people in the chat give us a hand?
Raspbell 27, I've just lost it. Says Alice in Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland.
Well,
Okay.
That's a good reference.
Where are we?
Yeah. Who said Mario?
Let's have a look.
What else we got
me,
here?
yeah.
So let's. Shall we start with?
Spider?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Brent, do you want to?
Well, yeah,
Right,
it's
it's me.
Martin's to
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
so
sorry.
I think I'm going to start with Mike's. I think he's an android, or some kind of robot, maybe, or just a machine.
okay.
And what is it? I think you just want to be. I think you just want me to be really comfortable. I think you just want to look out for me, maybe as your perk.
To be fair, that is
Yeah,
about
it's
as
pretty
close
close.
as it's gonna get. Yeah, I'm a robot.
Yeah.
And I can protect you.
All right. Okay.
Do you want to just put
That's
it
really nice.
on
I'll put them down here.
You're
So
Terminator 2, not Terminator 1.
I am. Yes, genuinely, I'm Terminator 2.
Oh.
Yeah. Alex, are you like? you don't like light. Like you want to put me in like some kind of dark room, or are you a member of the mafia maybe, and you don't want me to
So
meet
I'll be
you?
honest, like it was kind of difficult with the questions I had. Mine is I must stay a secret to everyone that you know.
Oh, but you can change size.
I won't meet anyone. I won't tell anyone about it, and I can't ever be in public or have photos. And the other one is I can grow or shrink at will.
I
I can
thought
only
you were-
resize myself, and I can only resize. I admit it didn't really come up. I can resize if you're on board with it.
Okay. I thought it might be that you were really indecisive, and you were just like, maybe I just want to
Do you
do
get
sugar
that?
today.
I
Maybe
didn't get
want
that.
to
No, I didn't get
It
any
was,
of that.
yeah, it's because I'm bad. It's because I'm
Stick
bad
them
at the
down here,
game.
mate. Stick them down here so
That's
the people
what's
at
going on
home
here.
can see.
Johnny.
We have a couple of guesses for Bryn.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Steve P. Bread says Bryn is afraid of being stalked by ducks.
You're afraid of being stalked by ducks, Bryn?
Yeah, sounds
Aren't
about
we
right.
all? Aren't we all?
That is not accurate, but it is brilliant.
Thank you, Joe.
Yeah, so Johnny, some members of your family are spiders, and you're also some kind of artist that makes things.
I overplayed it with the spider one.
Okay.
I am a world famous novelist,
Okay, yeah.
and I have 6 arms.
Oh, okay.
That's nice. That's really nice.
Yeah, like I mean, it was just because you were asking about the parents, so I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
so
I
either
imagine-
they
yeah,
both
yeah,
have
that
6 arms, or one of them's normal, or one of them's a spider.
Yeah, that's not how I would have given a clue to that. I feel like Johnny has a spider thing.
I just like
Brilliant.
they're misunderstood. Bryn.
It's there. It's certainly there.
Bryn,
There we go.
are you a kleptomaniac? Maybe you want to steal things? Is that
It's close. That's close.
And again, I just think you want to do what I want to do. I think something along those lines.
Yeah. So my perk was I am low maintenance. Don't
Okay.
start arguments. Aren't needy. Flexible with your plans. Just enjoy my time with you.
Okay, yeah.
Aw.
So I think you got pretty close to that one. Kleptomaniac is almost there. I am on the run. So the police are after me.
Okay.
I robbed a bank.
Yeah.
Used the money to pay my parents' debt.
Okay. Yeah.
Ah.
Always moving from place to place.
I'm gonna be honest.
That is quite low
Our
maintenance.
two people
Yeah.
should hook up. We can totally help one another out.
The last one was often disguised, which I did not manage to get in there at all.
That's all right. That's okay.
Cool. I think I
Cool.
did quite well on
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
That's very tough.
Clap for me.
All right. Okay. Let's pop these away, and we'll choose some new perks and quirks. Who wants to be the guesser? Who wants to be?
Let's make Johnny the guesser.
Okay,
Johnny,
okay,
right,
No
right,
more
right.
nightmare fuel.
Yeah.
No,
No
because
more
his
Magnus
questions
spin
will all be like, if
What are your
skin
fears?
fell off you, how would you deal with the situation?
Just taking one from the middle.
Oh, and you're
Yeah.
alone.
Nice choice. Nice choice. Okay. Right then. So, has everyone taken a perk and a quirk apart from me?
Oh my gosh.
You go. You go. There you go. All right. Okay. I'm
Oh,
gonna take my
no,
perk and
no.
quirk. Right then, Johnny.
That's a hard no.
Yeah, no, that one's a hard no. That one's a soft no.
And that's a
Oh
soft
my
no.
god. Oh yes. I don't know how to do these ones, but they're
are they
Oh wait.
both
Okay, it's
a
Johnny.
hard
okay.
no?
These are hard no. So apparently we've
Is
entered
it-
the hard no section.
What,
of
like,
this
is
game.
it that the S&M bear indicates hard ones, or like,
Oh,
or
maybe.
like
I've never.
messed up ones?
I've never
Maybe.
looked into that.
that
could
is
be.
possible actually.
Because
yeah.
it might be that the unicorn indicates like nice ones, the dude indicates like just medium ones,
Yeah.
and the S&M bear is like these are messed up.
And remember, guys, you're guessing at home. So if you want to play along, we're not going to show you what our perks and quirks are. You guys can guess too as we're playing.
Oh, we should have made it a feature of the 3D cam.
I want you to know that this is
A feature
the
of the
most
3D
okay ones I've
camera.
had, and
Hello,
it's
guys.
still what I got.
We've had some top chat on the chat.
Top
Okay,
chat.
Anything?
chat.
Tell us some
anything
top
we should
chat.
know?
Top chat from Joe.
Like we're _ TV says Bryn is pretty low maintenance. Layla Shalayla then says, as long as you have moderate to weak hearing.
Yes! Oh, right in there.
Also, hi Nick.
Yeah, nice. Top chat. Top chat. Okay. So, Johnny, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, I'm keen to get out there and start our life together. So, contestant number 1, what is your biggest fear?
I told you it would go this way.
Well, I have to say that I do fear going bald. I mean, I think that would be a really something that's just on a personal level.
Yeah, that would be
I'd
worse, wouldn't
really dislike, and you know, I think that you know, if I were to cry about it, I hope that you would hold me in the night, and maybe if you have fears, I could do the same for you. Thanks.
It's beautiful.
That was beautiful.
Cool.
Wonderful bit.
Same question, number 3.
Mixing it up already, mate.
Yeah.
Well, I'd have to say that my biggest fear, it's a tough question. The main reason being that I've forgotten which camera I made me to. The biggest problem is I struggle to think of what my biggest fear would be. Maybe losing. I mean, it's never happened, so I'll have to go out on a limb on that one. And I have to say, just riffing off person number 1's point, I also would love to spend the night next to you and have you hold me close. Because even though I'm not afraid, I'd like to get that warm feeling with you. You know.
Number 2.
Well,
He's saying top chat. I mean, top chat.
I'd have to say that my biggest fear is probably just like electric fences, maybe, or
Do androids dream of electric fences?
or just generic kind of like wolves, maybe. But I've usually got quite a lot of security around me most of the time, so I'm pretty important.
And number 4.
Yeah, he's leaking again.
Twice. No, I'm sorry. None of this is funny as quote mode.
Oh my goodness. All right. Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I'm not that fearful as a person, I'd say. Mostly because I was out on the Raz last night, and well, I know that nothing bad's going to happen to me in the next few weeks at least, so that's pretty good. So I guess my biggest fear would probably be that I really next weekend I'm getting my first corgi, and it would be so bad if it didn't arrive. I love him.
Okay. That's really informative. So, riffing off that, if it wasn't a corgi, I consider myself someone who's very good at Christmas presents. So, if I were to get you your perfect Christmas present that wasn't a corgi, what would it be?
Oh my goodness, just any animal. I love animals. I got one last year actually. I got a giraffe last year. And he's fantastic.
Stop telling tall tales.
Hey, but to be honest with you,
You're losing points, number 2.
like I say, I was out on a drink last night, and I actually know what you're going to get me next year. So.
Oh, what is it?
Oh, it's well, that would ruin the surprise for you.
Yeah,
Surely.
you're right. That,
And stop.
number 3. But if I were going to get you a Christmas present that wasn't a corgi, what would I get you that was perfect?
What would you get me that was perfect? Well, I have to say, I'd have a very tiring job. It's high stress, it's very hard work, and a lot of people think it's just, sitting around and pushing buttons and turning wheels, but it's a lot more intense than that. So I'd have to say that, it sounds stupid, a new bed would be amazing. I especially like those novelty beds, you can get one that's a teacup or one that's like a race car, anything like that. But I'd really enjoy it if you could also have plastic sheeting with the mattress. It's a thing that I'd really appreciate, basically. So yeah, I suppose a race car bed with plastic sheeting would just be.
Okay, number 2.
Oh wait, no, I've just seen some top chat on the live show. Could you read that post from Layla Shalala, please?
Is Alex American or Irish?
Yes.
I'm whatever
Yes.
you want me to be, Lena.
Well, I am one of those people that are difficult to buy presents for. You could say I have the world in my pocket. But if I had to come down on something, I'd go with thistles.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, I mean, people are always buying me like combs or shampoo, and the truth is, I don't really need them. I just wake up like this. To me, the most important thing would be the opportunity to spend time with you. You know, to cheer you up when you're sad. Like, you know, if you need to cry, I need to be the shoulder that's there for you. I mean, you know, just to hold you through the night and make sure you don't feel those sad feelings. Just take them away from you.
That was beautiful.
You're lovely.
I'm really trying to stay in character this whole time as well. So, you know.
That was so lovely.
Right. So I always feel that it's very important for me that I have the same values, politically speaking, as my partner. So if you could enact one new law in the world, what would you do? Number 2.
I mean, I can. So, if it was anything, I guess, maybe to have more green pastures and more people to just let their weeds grow out.
All right. Number 1.
So, I think that, you know, privacy is really important, and, you know, I think that there should be a law that you know, everyone has their own bedside cabinet, and you shouldn't be able to look in that, you know. And it's just, but you should have, you know, the normal things that everyone needs at night available. You know, if there's an eyedropper on my bedside table, that's fine, and that should just be there. But you shouldn't be able to look in my cabinet. That's basically what I'd say.
Subtle.
This is really difficult, you guys.
I can't see it.
Number 3.
That was the delay for me watching that.
Do we need to take Martin to A&E?
We might do at the end of the stream.
Right.
Oh, goodness
Alex. And number 3.
I should think so. Well, I've decided to be Irish.
Oh God!
Well,
That is a
As someone with
remarkably
an
poor
awful
choice.
Irish accent, I love it.
Oh no.
so the thing is, I have to say that I'd probably just ban all nappies, just all of them, Huggies, Pampers, the whole lot. Just ban it all, okay? It's wrong, it's unnatural, and frankly, I think it's a problem, and I think it's a problem that needs to be solved.
Okay. And number 4.
Do you know what? I was dreading a question like this because I was out on the Raz the other week. And,
Hashtag on the Raz.
And
Don't spit it out, Alex. Don't let it go out your
We've
nose.
had 2 spurges,
Go on,
but
Alex.
we
Don't
haven't
do
had
it.
a spit
Don't do
take
it.
yet.
Don't do it.
Okay, carry on. Don't mind me.
And well, I actually know all the laws that are going to be published, so including number 2s.
It's horrible.
So I don't really know what to answer, but what I'd love is that if everyone just maybe once a year could just get just a new like a dog or like a honey badger, you know, then that would be just great. That would be great.
Okay. I think.
Johnny.
I mean,
Who are you gonna pick?
I think I'm gonna pick Martin because
Yay!
then I would be dating the sheep president of the world, or the goat.
Goat,
So-
surely.
goat is a goat.
Go,
Cool.
surely. Yeah.
Nice,
Yes.
nice.
So I was
Hold on,
raised.
hold on.
Any other good guesses?
Any other
Any good guesses on the channel?
Emmett Blue Moon says a sheep politician.
Sheep politician.
Yeah,
okay,
that's
yeah,
right.
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
Solid
nice
guess.
one. Good guess.
Also, the same person says Bryn is a hair model.
Bryn is a hair model.
Is Martin some
Pretty
sort of
much.
sheep deity? Says Steve.
Steve thinks that Martin is a sheep deity.
Blackman TV says pretty sure Bryn is just Bryn.
Bryn is just pretty sure Bryn's just
Wow.
No.
Wow.
Bryn. Amazing. Okay, good.
Layla Shalala says he's Rapunzel.
Rapunzel. Oh, that's
They put pun in like exclamator.
Yeah, nice
Rapunzel.
pun, Layla.
Nice.
Nice to see you joining our team.
Team Evil.
And we've got one out of left field, which is an alcoholic, clairvoyant 4-year-old girl.
for me. Okay, cool.
On the raz.
on the raz.
So-
Always on the raz.
So yeah, I think
Alcoholic
was it goats?
definitely, yeah.
I was raised by goats, but then I essentially decided that I would also adopt most of the mannerisms of a goat. So
Yeah,
yes,
that's grand.
Yeah, I also rule the world.
Yes, I thought. Yeah, cool.
Amazing.
I
You
would
could
say
that
I
he
think
rule in the world.
I think Bryn is a. I think he's a model, and he's obsessed with me crying.
So I found this really difficult. The perk was I have amazing hair.
Oh yeah, cool.
Naturally amazing, looks good in any style. I don't obsess about it. Yeah, that's easy to convey when you've got a very limited number of answers. Hair in every location is amazing.
Every location.
Every location.
Every location.
On the
Okay,
eyelids.
you're gonna love this quirk. Okay,
Right.
I didn't know how to do this. I steal your tears while you sleep.
Oh, what are you
Lovely.
crying on?
I use an eyedropper to gather them.
Oh.
I drink the tears 8 days later. Very precise. How can I possibly reference that?
How did you not get that, Johnny?
Johnny.
To be fair, I was like you're obsessed with crying. So
Yeah.
like, that's
You don't wake up during the act. You wake up with dry eyes. Also the notes on that card.
Important stuff.
Nice.
Very
Nice. Okay, good.
Alex, I think
You're
you're
bad
a
at accents?
pilot that wets the bed.
You know what? That's a really solid guess. So, I'm a professional racer. You know,
Okay.
I've won multiple championships, loads of sponsors, skilled at racing, and apparently I never run over people, and that's just a lovely.
Right,
the
well
fact.
done.
Never.
Nice. Never.
Now, additionally, I do have a minor quirk, which is that I have random mid-sleep diarrhea,
Oh!
refuse to wear a diaper,
Wow.
must
Okay.
sleep with you, and the most clothes I could ever wear is one pair of pajamas. I didn't really manage to fit that one in.
That's not.
I want that on the record as that was by far the most tame of all of the
I
cards I
may
picked
be,
up.
I may be going off this game.
I think you chose well not to go with me.
Wow.
And I feel like you have 3 cards, which is alcoholic, can see the future, and obsessed with animals. But I don't know how those combine into 2
Surely
distinct
it's
cards.
alcoholic clairvoyant is one and obsessed with animals is the other.
Can see the future when you drink.
Yes, I can see. I'm
Oh.
psychic when I'm drunk.
Yeah.
That would
I have
be
psychic
great.
visions when I'm drunk.
That'd be awful.
That's a Netflix series, right?
And the other one is I want a new household pet to be added to my household every year.
Okay.
I tried to get the every
not
year
bad,
in as
yeah.
much as I could, but it didn't quite come out as quite as I wanted.
Yeah.
But
I think you chose
good.
well. I think
So,
you chose
yeah,
really
I think you
well.
chose really
I mean,
well.
yeah, goat president.
Goat
Amazing.
president versus
Goat
the person
president.
who wants to steal my tears.
I mean, that's a good thing, right? It means you don't cry so much.
Dry
You don't
eyes.
feel
Dry
sad.
eyes aren't good.
Yeah, no, it's
No one wants to
awful.
wake up with
Crunchy
dry
eyes.
eyes.
I know, it's
Crunchy
awful.
eyes, Bryn.
Right,
Not great.
guys, do we?
How much time do we have? Well, let's do one
We've got
round.
round for one more
Yeah.
time.
Fit round one more
While
thing.
you're sorting that out, there is a question for Johnny
Oh,
earlier
yes.
on from Starspell27. Johnny, of all the Eldritch gods, which do you identify with the most?
Oh, good question.
So can you just say that into the microphone? I don't think they would have heard.
It's of all the eldritch gods, which do I which do I most identify with?
Into camera one.
Into camera 1. Oh, way over there. All right. That's a very good question.
Yeah,
I would say-
no S&M bears.
In terms of the Magnus archives, I would probably say the web, the spider, because I like pulling strings and making horrible things that happen to people.
Don't say.
More generally,
Alex, help
maybe Yog Sothoth. He's got that rainbow thing going. That's pretty cool. Anyway,
Okay.
so-
I guess I'm asking the questions this time then.
I guess so.
So, and remember, guys, to play along at home if you want to. You guys can guess along with me because I feel that I'm probably going to be quite terrible at this. Here we go then. So, first of all, starting with contestant number 4. Describe to me your perfect summer day.
I like it to be warm, but not too sunny, because otherwise I go through a lot of sunscreen. And I'm there, and you're there, and our family's there, and we've got a lovely picnic. And maybe they can go off and play, but we can keep an eye on them. There's no it's just have some real quality time together. Yeah, some nice soft blanket to lie on, because obviously grass is a bit prickly.
Okay. All right. Cool. And contestant number 2.
I remember my perfect summer day exactly. Actually, everything about it. It was that I remember the exact angle at which I awoke when the sun came up, and I remember it streaming in exactly through the window, and all of the way it lit the room, and the colour of the bedposts, and what I did that day. I was just outside. Not looking at any magazines or anything, and then just came home to my house with no television.
Right. Okay. And contestant number 1.
So for me, it's it's any summer's day where I have a day off from work. My boss is pretty demanding, and spending that day with a nice guy in a nice city that isn't in any immediate danger of being blown up. Having a martini or something like that, and the martini not blowing up. Yeah. I mean, that just sounds lovely to me.
Okay, cool. And contestant number
Don't
3.
you just hate it when?
Oh god, don't you just hate it when your martini explodes?
What was my perfect summer's day? Well, I'd have to say my perfect summer's day. It was the perfect blend of indoors and outdoors, because you can get too hot, you can get too cold. So it was excellent. We started off with a brilliant rally. It was me and everyone else who was pro gun, and we were just there, and we went on a massive march, and we were just like, you know what, guns for children.
I think my boss donates a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, I can
yeah.
tell. And
Guns for
yeah,
children.
Guns for Children was an amazing march. I met so many fantastic people. I really thought it was important work. And then I kind of chilled out afterwards, and you went, you know what I want to do? Rig the US election. So I just went home, I just broke out my laptop, and then I was just up till the wee hours in the morning rigging the US election successfully. It was just a really, really fantastic day for just everything I care about,
Great. Good. Right. So,
Prince leaking again.
I live for that.
Next time that happens, can we get a close up?
Yeah, we definitely can. I'm gonna try. I'll try my hardest.
Laugh cam.
Laugh cam. Right. Okay. So,
A lot of wonderful options.
Right. Wonderful. So I'm a big fan of the seaside. I love going for walks by the sea. But if you guys were to take me out, where would we go and why? And that starts with contestant number 2.
I remember going to the seaside the first time, and the second time, and the third time, and the fourth time, and every consecutive time since then. But I wouldn't take you there. I would take you probably just to a secluded, maybe just a cottage away from any kind of televisions or radios, and then we just spend a wonderful evening together, and I'd remember every detail of it.
Okay.
Stop staring into the camera.
It's so weird.
And contestant number 1.
Well, I think
Also,
summer
like,
fancy.
Just to the right. Just to the right. Just get them out of frame.
Book a table at a fancy restaurant. Somewhere we can both dress up. Somewhere that my boss isn't going to threaten to blow up at any moment. And yeah. I have no idea how to get in my other thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Sure.
That's good. That's wonderful.
Maybe watch the part in that Harry Potter movie when at Christmas. Never mind.
Right, and on that note, contestant number 1.
I mean, I'm not a huge fan of the beach. Like, it's a lovely place for families, but the sand just gets everywhere,
No, it does. It does.
So I would probably, I know some like nice free thinking, but those sort of play warehouses so the kids can just run off, and you can keep them supervised. But there's a nice bar we can have wine or something like that, and just we can have our time, but still make sure that the kids are all right and really enjoying themselves.
That sounds lovely. That was the best so far. Contestant number 3.
Well, I know that I was talking a lot about the US earlier, but that's hardly the whole world. I think what would I do? You know what I would love to do? I would love to take you to a Britain First convention.
Oh my God.
I would love to really dig into the nitty gritty with you about these subjects.
No.
And then
Sponsored by Ipsos Mori.
No! No!
I mean the live stream, not Alex.
And then
Or any of his
We
opinions.
would like to take this moment to say that none of the opinions shared on this podcast.
And then I think I'd really like to sort of talk with you about how you want the world to change.
Oh.
What kind of change do you want to happen, and how can I make that happen for you? Maybe you want a better job, maybe you want a new identity. I want to help you be the best that you can be, any way you want, really. Cool. New social security number, pretty much anything.
Okay, lovely. I'm glad that we've discussed these things.
Yeah, but God, I could do it all day, shall we?
No. Sorry. So yeah. Question number 3 then. So one thing that I really really enjoy is I'm a big hockey fan actually. Ice hockey. I'm a big ice hockey fan, and if you guys, I don't know if you guys do sport already, but if you don't do sport, what would be your favourite sport to do, or what sports do you currently play? Contestant number 1.
I don't play any sports. My boss doesn't give me that much time. But I love going to see them. It takes so much time to prepare. But seeing a sport is great. And I find that it's so cheap for me because I never have to pay for a ticket. I just waltz on in there. They don't stop me on the way in. Take my seat. Watch a game. It's great.
Wonderful, great. Contestant number 4.
Well, I mean, I can't really play any sports at any sort of real competitive level because there's a lot of regulations about that. But I love to have just a bit of a kick around. I'm Skins. I'd be very keen to encourage our kids to get into organised sport because I think it's a really good thing. It's very team building. It gets them exercise and just it's healthy and fun for them.
That is wonderful. And contestant number 2.
I remember the first time I went to go see live sport, and every consecutive time since that time, and all the sports that I've ever seen or ever played, and all the rules for every single sport that I'm aware of. But I don't like going to sports bars. The music is very. I don't like any of the music or any of the television really. So it'd have to be a live sport event, maybe American football, so I could watch all the plays and remember the first time that they used those plays, and how many times they use the plays within the game, or each of the players' numbers and the names that go with those numbers, and the faces of every single member of the stand, and your face, and everything about you, and everything about the date, and anything that led up to that date.
Great. And last but not least, contestant number 3.
Oh, thanks for asking. I enjoy your talks. I think I'd probably... Let's think about this. Could I make sure I get the question completely right? Could you please repeat it for me, just so I can hear it again?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of ice hockey.
Ice hockey, yeah.
And I was wondering if you play any sport.
Okay, well...
Or if not, what your favourite sport
I'd
is.
have to say then, I mean, I don't really play much in the way of sort of traditional sports, but I actually was a big figure for a while on the esports scene. Yeah, genuinely, I was doing really well. I got a lot of professional contracts. Of course, I'm banned now. But I tell you what, when I was playing, I won every time. Even if I should have lost, I won. And yeah, I'd say probably that. Also, I mean, the thing is, I mean, esports don't do it so much, but I do like about the traditional sports the whole, the national anthem thing. I like standing by a national anthem. No matter what your nation is, even if they've been, going to wars they don't need to, anything like that. Really, I really like just standing in support of that. And showing allegiance to your country, no matter what, no matter how much awfulness they've done. And I think esports would benefit from that.
Nationalism.
Well, that's lovely.
Like real nationalism, though. Like my cruelty. not other people's cruelty.
Right then. Okay, great. That's lovely. So,
Thank you.
people at home, have you guessed at all? What have you guessed?
People at home, who is your least favourite?
Who is it?
I'm sorry, by the way. I just play with cards that I'm given, okay?
All right.
Maybe things just spontaneously explode in Bryn's presence from Stevie P.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Is that what his character is, or just?
It's just an observation.
Okay.
Alex is all the political parties.
Alex is every political party. Okay, that's good.
Johnny's a school